Hi, Neil.
Hi, Precious. How are you?
I'm good.
Good
I'm
morning.
good.
Good
Good
afternoon for
afternoon.
you, I guess.
Yeah, it's afternoon
Yeah.
for me, morning for you. Yeah. So
Yeah.
welcome to this new episode of this episode 27. Maybe when we get to 30, we should do like a Q&A and get people to come join us and just tell us what they think about the
Mm.
podcast.
Yeah, obvious. It'll be nice.
Yeah. Okay, so this is episode 27, and today I think I think it's better when we start with the topics, right? So it doesn't get lost in the conversation. So the topic today is talking about GitHub's AI push. So, and I know you have some stories about GitHub, right?
hmm
Yeah. So
hmm
do you mind we start from there?
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah. So GitHub made tons of releases over the last few days. So I sort of summarized into one story here. So there is a tremendous AI push it started with the code completion, right? Now it's just becoming this idea of code development and another junior developer in your team sort of idea. So this pushes have been towards sort of full workflow automation. So over the past week, GitHub has for every Copilot product from Visual Studio to VS Code to Copilot CLI. I actually didn't know they had a CLI, to be
Oh,
honest. And Spark, remember I think a few weeks back, we talked about it, GitHub Spark.
yeah.
I still don't have
GitHub
access to
Spark.
it, by the way. Maybe you do. This is this whole sort of the whole V0 lovable from GitHub, right? Idea to app generation. Um,
Oh,
so they made a public preview release or something, but I still don't have access. Anyway, so if you break it down, so for Visual Studio, Copilot now comes with AI agents. Copilot comes with AI agents. All terms are sort of mixed up these days, but they make some interesting improvements there, which I think is quite very interesting. So for if you're a Visual Studio user, now your Copilot, a sort of GitHub Copilot comes with a collection of agents. One agent sort of profiles your performance in your .NET applications. So I'm believing that this agents are fine-tuned to work with .NET. I'm not sure whether they work with any other types of programming languages or not yet. There is another agent which helps you to modernize. Now, this is interesting. I know companies out there, their whole business is helping companies modernize app from old .NET to new .NET, or from old technology to new technology. Apparently, that there is no modernization agent that helps you to do that. Developers can also generate Marmite diagrams, which I'm a big fan of, and also helps you with the code review. So we're going to see a pattern here, which I feel like is right, because now lots of developers, human developers, spend more time reviewing code now, right?
yeah.
Because typing is not a bottleneck anymore, right? Code generation is not a bottleneck. So any tools that we're going to see tons of tools coming around in code review space where it kind of helps you to do that. And I think it makes sense. You described one of the pattern before, right? Sometimes when you work on a blog, you use multiple models, right, to
Yeah. Yeah.
get feedback from others. So I think that's an interesting one. You use one model for code generation, maybe use another model as a reviewing the code. I think that might be a good value add. On the Copilot, on the GitHub CLI, now it's supposed Anthropic 4.5. We should talk about Anthropic 4.5. I know you have a story. I'm really impressed
Yeah.
with this model. Yeah, so it does image generation, shells, prompts. All the CLIs are trying to get at where Claude Code is essentially. Now, Sonnet 4.5
Oh,
is now available across all the products. If your Xcode, JetBrains, Eclipse really doesn't matter, you have access. Just update your VS Code. You'll see it in the pop-up that Sonnet 4.5 is available now. It just happened a few days back. And I talked about Spark. It's entering in the public preview. That means almost everyone should get access to it. So tons of new releases, man.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, last week I got access to Perplexity, their Comet browser,
Mm,
and it has been everywhere. Really, everybody has been talking about it. They are running crazy ads. I can't use my phone. Everywhere I turn, I see Perplexity,
interesting.
and they are targeting students. They are targeting students. They're always telling you, oh, you should use this to make your presentation. Your school presentation is going to be easy. I'm like, okay,
Why you
shall I me
think
rest
why
Facebook?
you think is that? Because it's hard for me to believe that students going to buy this product or subscribe to this product. Why they're doing that, you think?
I think they're at the stage of user acquisition. So they're just
Mm,
trying to acquire as much users as they can, right?
mm,
Before they now start selling the product to them.
mm,
So if you acquire like 1 million, maybe 500 will buy.
mm.
And then maybe 250 will become reoccurring,
Yeah,
users.
yeah.
And there's also this thing about when you are in the loop, right? So
Mm,
because I've used OpenAI and ChatGPT for a very long time, I
mm,
don't want to move again to Claude or Gemini. So I would rather just pay for ChatGPT because they give it to me free. I've used it for a very long time, and now I can't leave, right?
mm.
Same with Google Gmail. They give you 15 gig. You get to the end of the
Benefits have
15 gig.
benefits of VC funded startup.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly, exactly.
So yeah, I mean, so just to summarize, there are tons of releases on GitHub. If you're a GitHub Copilot user, feel check these new features out essentially.
Yeah. All right. So the first story I have here is from AWS actually.
Mhm.
So they called it the AWS Nova Act IDE extension. So I think it is um, it's trying to bring like browser automation agents into the editor, such as VS Code, Kiro, and Cursor. It lets you describe your workflow in natural language, auto-generates an AI and agent script, and refine that script in a notebook style builder with integrated API, ports, hooks, and local testing tools inside the IDE. So basically, what it does is that the Nova Act, which is what they release, which is the extension, acts like an SDK plus model designed to perform action inside the browser, right? So
So Nova
it is an
is their
extension, and they release.
Nova is their model, right? AWS model.
Yeah, it's their model.
Mm.
Yes, yes, yes. So they created like an Act extension for it,
Mm.
right? So I think basically what they're trying to achieve is so that developers can be able to prototype browser automation faster, so that they can be able to iterate also inside the IDE with breakpoints and log, when they are trying to debug and all those things. So
Interesting.
sort of they're trying to like bring Nova,
Mm.
to the environment where developers are. So instead of trying to chase them somewhere else, just bring it to them, right? So all you need to do to get access to do this is to go to your VS Code, go to extension, and
Mm.
then you can be able to install it and start using it from there.
Mm.
So remember when we used to talk about meeting developers where they are, right?
Yeah.
In terms
Yeah.
of these AI tools,
Yeah.
right? I think that's what they are trying to do with this particular release.
Yeah.
Meeting the developers where they are. Since you already code with Cursor and all those things,
Yeah.
don't worry, we'll bring it to you instead of you moving to a new platform.
Interesting.
So I think that's what's going on here. Yeah.
It's amazing how AWS go by this. I mean, obviously they have Bedrock, which supports all other models, right? Using AWS, you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
access
Yeah.
to Claude and GPT and others. Can you access GPT? I believe we used to. I have to double check that, but Claude definitely. I know lots of companies use it, AWS Bedrock, to access Claude, just to get an
Yeah.
enterprise access. Data is not shared with general stuff and all that. Enterprises really use Bedrock. I mean, it's a very popular choice.
But
I
why? Okay, because they already are on AWS services, right?
A couple of other reasons too. That's a great question, though. I mean, one is um, they probably use AWS. It's just in part of the ecosystem. It's easier for them to extend that. Second is sort of security. AWS, when you use
Okay.
Bedrock with Claude, you get sort of your own private sort of cloud access. So the data that you share with Claude there is not shared with general public cloud that everyone else uses. Enterprise GPT, right? Lots of companies use a GPT.
Okay.
They don't use the GPT that you and I are using. They use a different instance of
Oh.
GPT. And And part of the agreement there is that whatever data you feed into that model, that data will never be used for training purposes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Now, this is also
Right.
interesting because Claude has so much demand now. Claude is obviously, I don't know whether they're resetting some limits. I have to dig into that because I feel like I hit the limits very frequently now. I mean, they're changing, obviously. I mean, it makes sense because there is a huge demand for this. And this is a race to GPUs, right? End of the day, you need to have an infrastructure to support this. I think Anthropic is expanding, but they are not able to keep up with the demand. So sometimes even Anthropic guys will suggest you to use AWS Bedrock to their model. So instead of directly using Anthropic Sonnet, use AWS Bedrock for the Sonnet. That way, AWS take care of the scalability and resources.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So because AWS obviously has a server farm, and I'm assuming Amazon has a tap into good set of GPUs, so they can scale.
Yeah. So through using their hardware, they tend to like cut down,
Cut down on availability of
the
hardware.
amount.
It's not about any more cutting down. It's availability of hardware is becoming the race now, right? This is the same reason why NVIDIA invested, which is the most confusing thing ever, invested $100 billion to OpenAI so that OpenAI can turn around and buy GPUs, which is also by NVIDIA. So it's funny business. But anyway, so so this is all risk. I mean, it's crazy how many companies out there now try to building data centers. It's electricity and energy. That's the demand right now.
Yeah. I mean, I would have said that, I mean, in Africa here, we have a lot of vast lands. We have, what we don't have is electricity, but we have the space. And then, I don't know if we have the people, but I'm sure we have the space, right? So Zulif is saying, someone is saying in the chat, why no one come here? Zulvix, are you talking about people building? Okay, the black elephant said hi, guys. So Zulix, are you talking about servers? If you're talking about, data centers, yeah, that's the same thing I'm talking about. I don't know where you are, so I don't know where here is. So maybe you can tell us the name of your country, we can put in the conversation. Yeah, so, but for us here, I think we have the space, but I think for me in Nigeria here, we are trying to get like the first data center in Nigeria.
Nice.
The first, yeah. So it's still under construction, and I know it's going to open.
I mean, data centers have a huge requirement for energy, cooling, all the servers running, right? Microsoft has some crazy ideas, right? Building data centers underwater. The cooling is taken care. Maybe we should do we should do one episode just on the data centers because I think there's some fascinating technology and stuff they're doing. Yeah. It's a crazy demand.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a few real estate guys who are just exploring to be in the data center business because it's a different type of construction, different energy requirements.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, the energy is where I doubt if we can handle it because of, we don't even have enough for the homes.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, we have a lot of sun. We have some parts of the countries we have a lot of sun. Some parts are very humid. Some parts you go there, you see a lot of wind. Some parts have a lot of water. We have like a whole coast. We have a coastal.
But I'm saying anything solar based might be really interesting for Africa, though, right? No?
Yeah. It might be interesting, but the problem with solar a little bit is the sustainability, right? Sustainability of solar, maintaining it, being able to run it, using it over time for a very long time. We don't have like very good maintenance culture. But so in my school, some time ago, when I was in the university, the president and some people came and they put this very large solar farm that could power the whole university and power like some industries around, like a rice mill and some farms. The problem with that was that when the students came back to school, they started using electricity recklessly, and things started going wrong upstairs at the server farm where they have the whole solar farm where they have everything installed. So things started burning. They had to start patching things. Because someone can just plug like the electric iron something else and without caring that this is solar or this is something.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of the way it's used and all those things. So I think the sustainability of solar is what I'm concerned about. But I think solar is a good one. People in their homes put solar and it's fine. It works very well for them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a race right now. It's just for who's going to build the biggest data center. All right. So the next one I have is from Microsoft. We're moving from GitHub to Microsoft. Microsoft released a new open source agent framework. I lost count how many agent frameworks we have here, but this is one for Microsoft. It sounds quite interesting to me. So this is an open source SDK, and it has a runtime. So remember, we talked about this, right? There are lots of agentic framework that allows you to build, but there is always this struggle of getting from prototype to production, right? Like an environment issues. That was the struggle for, or that's one of the common issues with lots of agentic frameworks out there. Okay, now I have this multi-agent framework I built. Where should I deploy? So they sort of take care of it. So it's like actually prototype to production. So this kind of full life cycle support in this SDK. So it doesn't only allow you to build an orchestrate multi-agent agentic application. It also allows you to build those apps, run those apps in Azure. So what they have done is essentially they took two interesting framework. One is AutoGen. I think we talked about this. AutoGen is an open source framework that allows you to build multi-agent sort of orchestration layer, almost like Crew AI, right? How you remember Crew allows you to build teams of agents. That's a similar idea, competitor to Crew essentially. So they combined AutoGen and Semantic Kernel, which is sort of SDK for building AI agents into this one framework. So going forward, I think agent framework will take over AutoGen and Semantic Kernel. That's what I understood. So one toolkit, two styles. That means it allows you to do obviously orchestration, agentic orchestration, also workflow orchestration. So think of like N8N type workflow you can easily build here. One of the interesting thing I noticed is obviously it's being open source, it supports all the open protocol. So it supports MCP, it supports agent-to-agent protocol. It also supports OpenAI. So in theory, someone can use agent framework to build agents and sort of deploy it in AgentLink, for an example. It has lots of capability, observability, which I really like. This is key. I use Langsmith, but a framework that comes out of the box with observability, which is with OpenTelemetry, it's good. That way you can keep track of, right, how your prompts are performing. You can collect the data for your evals. This is a very, very important thing. So they have lots of supports for human in the loop, long-running durability, which is part of agent-to-agent protocol aspect. Looks interesting. It comes with lots of connectors for your Redis, Postgres, Elasticsearch, VectorDB. It's a Microsoft, right? So their SDK is built with bells and whistles. So check it out. I mean, it looks interesting. Now, whenever I hear something about Microsoft, my immediately mind goes that, oh, this is probably going to be .NET specific. And I don't use .NET, right? But I was reading through their blogs in here. I think this framework supports both .NET, obviously, and Python. So if you are interested in building application using one of those technologies, you should definitely check this out.
Right. So guys, you're dropping the link in the chat, right?
Yeah, I'm dropping a link. Yeah.
All right. So while we were speaking, I just saw this tweet from Bloomberg. Just tweeted this thing like I think 25 minutes ago, and they said OpenAI has partnered with AMD in a massive 5-year GPU supply agreement to deploy 6 gigawatts of AMD GPUs over multiple years. And he went on to say, deal highlights.
Let me check whether AMD stock is going up or not. I have some AMD stock.
Yes, it's up 25%.
Oh, really?
It's up 25%. Yeah.
Nice.
So you have some of their stocks?
Yeah. Oh,
Huge.
Bitcoin just crossed 125K, man. Sometimes I
Oh
feel I just
wow.
stop everything and just do Bitcoin trading, man. Yeah, it's
I
it's up
mean, I think Bitcoin
it's
is
up $42 today, AMD. It never moves like that. It
wow,
never moves like that. It's just crazy
wow.
how up this is.
It's
Look
crazy.
at
Wow.
that.
Guys, are you guys seeing that? It's crazy how these things happen. Technology move and then everything is just
Yeah.
going.
AMD is actually a good one. I mean, anyway, we would have to
Yeah.
go there. I feel like they're undervalued somehow. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I know when we used to choose between Intel and AMD laptops, and all of a sudden they just fizzled out. I
Yeah,
stopped seeing AMD
yeah,
laptops. I think Japanese laptop like Toshiba, I had one Toshiba laptop that was AMD. It had it,
mm,
you
mm,
know, and all of a sudden we only see Intels. I mean,
yeah.
everybody went Intel, right?
It was good once upon a time they were really good, but
Yeah,
now
they were really good.
anyway
Now
they're
everybody,
struggling a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, actually, I mean, since I moved to a MacBook,
This is
I've only wiped it away.
fascinating in a way. I always find this fascinating. Intel were in the right place. They had everything to take over GPUs, right? They had the infrastructure, they had
Yeah,
everything.
why didn't
Just
they?
missed that opportunity where out of nowhere Nvidia came, and Nvidia is like,
And just took
see,
everything.
I feel like this disruption in innovation sometimes is so difficult for um,
Bigger,
established companies to do.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, big companies, yeah, it's so difficult for them to do because things move very fast, and then because of the structures that they have around them, they can't really move as
yeah,
fast as they want to.
yeah, yeah,
I think that's also why companies like Google, so there's Google Deep Lab that
yeah,
builds lots of crazy AI products that we've never heard of. I went on their website one day to look at what they have. We've
yeah.
not covered like 20 of their products on this, but they have a lot. So I think they just hire people and they keep them to just innovate in that lab, right? Just build AI is here, build
Google
product.
is turning around. I mean, you're right. I mean, it's such a big machine.
Yeah.
Initially, we talked about this in our podcast too. What is Google doing, right? We hardly used to
Yeah.
cover any news on Google. Now they're all over the place. I mean, you're
They're all
right.
over
It's
the
a big
place.
ship, and large ship takes time to turn, right? So,
Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, I think let's just hope maybe
But they're
Intel
getting
might
there
do
though.
something.
They're getting there. I think Google
Yeah.
is doing really some interesting stuff. So,
Yeah. All right. So
all right, what's
Anthropic
next?
Claude Sonnet 4.5.
Mhm.
They
Mhm.
claim that they are the best coding model. So I think this news has been everywhere. So Anthropic
Yeah.
announced Claude Sonnet 4.5, positioning it as the best coding and computer using model with a reported 72.2% on S benchmark verified. And it has improved long running agent reliability. So they note that 30 plus hours autonomous run compares to 7 plus hours that they had in the Opus, the last one that they had. So they also
Mhm.
highlighted that the agent is very good on maths and using computer, right? So I have something to show on my screen. So if you're watching us on
Yeah.
YouTube, you might want to look at this. So this is like their benchmark. So they sort of like, can I maximize this? Okay. So they sort of like, um, you know, have this thing just to show how it ranks according to the other agents. So as we can see here,
Um,
when it comes to coding tax, it's like 82%, right? It's 82% SWE benchmark. Why Opus 4.1 is 79%. Then if you come down, you see that terminal coding is 50%, while the previous model have like 46, 36. And then guess what? GPT-5 is at 43.8, while Claude Sonnet 4.5 is at 50.0, right? Sorry.
mhm.
Yeah. So Gemini 2.5 Pro is at 25.3. right? So when it comes to
That's
computer
a
use,
good chart. Yeah, that's a
yeah,
really good chart.
I think they've done well. When it comes to graduate level reasoning, I can see that GPT-5 is higher. Actually, Gemini is higher. Gemini 2.5 Pro is 86.4, while
Mhm.
there's Cloud Sonnet is at 83.4, while this is 86.4. OpenAI ChatGPT is at 85.7. So I think it's a good one, especially they benchmarked it mostly against what their own previous models and then also against Gemini and GPT-5. So if you look at it properly, you're going to see that they're doing well. So they have high school math competition where they score 100%. I'm really interested in the high school math competition where they score 100%. But looking at the other models, I can see that ChatGPT scored 99.6 and then Gemini
Yeah,
2.5 scored 80.0.
yeah.
So I wonder what they
Now, if
failed.
you,
I'm they failed.
yeah, and if you compare this with what was the thing we covered there? The coding challenge or programming marathon Olympiad or something.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah,
all the models won gold medal, though, right? Isn't that true?
yes. I think he was
I think
Gemini.
Gemini won,
Yeah,
Codex
Gemini
definitely
won.
won, GPT-5 won, Gemini
Yeah,
won, Codex won. I don't know whether Claude participated in that. I think all the top line models got the gold medal or something like that.
yeah,
Now, based on my personal experience with 4.5, obviously when it happened, it automatically switched. The way I figured it out is my experience suddenly got faster. So one of the things that is not covered here is that the latency of this Sonnet 4.5 is pretty impressive. It used to take a
hmm,
lot. One of my biggest complaint with Claude Code was that it's too slow, and I was okay with that because I want more correctness versus crap and
yeah,
speed. But now it went to it's really fast, relatively faster, and the experience has drastically. I think it makes less number of still makes a mistake, less number of mistakes. One thing I've noticed though, it's very detail oriented. So so I do spend tons of time planning though. So this is very
yeah,
important for me. I'm not one of those guys who jump in saying, hey, here is a problem, go fix it. I always switch plot to plan mode and sort of have a discussion how you want to fix it and do that. In my experience, that definitely helps me get a better results out of Claude, obviously. Um,
yeah.
but it's much superior. I mean, my productivity has drastically gone up and it makes less number of mistakes.
Hmm. It's actually good that you've used it. So you're telling us now from experience that this is not a lie. So this is actually the first um model that we finally said this is good since we started this podcast. I mean, you're putting your weight behind this and you're saying this is good. It's even
Yeah,
better
those are
than
really
what they
good.
said.
I mean,
All right.
you have to start still planning it. I mean, I almost want to get a T-shirt which says "You're almost right." Have you experienced that with Claude at all? And they make a mistake, you say, hey, "Dude, you haven't thought about that." Oh, you're absolutely right. I hear that so many times. I almost feel like I should get a T-shirt saying "You're absolutely
Yeah,
right."
you're absolutely right. I think it's also the whole positive thing where people talk about how these models can
Yeah,
be very positive and tell you, oh, so what you want to hear and that you are good and all those things.
yeah, you're absolutely right.
I think it's one of those things.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great release. My only concern is that it's just hits the limits really quick because I think they're changing the limits.
Okay.
Um, I might have to upgrade to max some point. Um,
Yeah.
okay, so my next one is this is not a new story, but it just showed up on my radar, so I will talk about this. This story is called Paper to Code. It's an open source project that essentially allows um, research papers into working code. Okay, so imagine this sort of workflow here. You found a interesting research paper on ML or AI that provides some interesting algorithm to build AI agents, right? Typically, I mean,
Yeah.
I typically find it hard because I haven't I usually what I do is that I look for has anyone taken that paper and created an implementation out of this, right? Um, So if you don't find them, you sort of, what I essentially do is like, I'll wait for somebody to implement this before I play with around. Now what you can do is that you can take that paper, feed into this paper to code open source project. What it will do is that it has obviously interesting latex parsers and stuff. It will scan your PDF, maybe diagrams also, and figure it out what this paper is all about, and essentially create this sort of generation phase where it will do the planning, it will analyze and spit out a code. So imagine you feeding a research paper, and on the other hand, you get sort of a working code that implements that research paper. The interesting bit about this is that, and this is also another trend we're seeing right now, we are the AI-driven reproducibility, right? There are lots of AI applications and agents coming up in the AI research space. So think of this agent almost like, how we say, this is AI agent is your code developer or something. Think of this as an AI agent that is a new research assistant for you that can work on that can take some cutting edge research and generate a working prototype of that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
I'm trying to look at it. Yeah, I was trying to look at the diagram. There's this diagram.
Is there a way you
on
can
the,
share
on the
this?
notes where, yeah, we can.
That's okay.
But
Don't worry about it.
maybe not now.
Yeah.
We didn't plan for
Yeah.
it earlier. Right. Yeah. So I think I like the whole diagram. It goes to the planning. Then in the planning phase, you have overall plan, architectural design, logic design, configuration. Comes down to analyzing before it goes to coding. So instead of going straight from the paper to code, it takes it through this process. I think that's really cool, though. I think that's really cool.
I thought so too. I feel like I wish something like existed. From time to time, I find a research and we talk about so many research paper, right? Hey, there's a new algorithm to do this and do that. Wouldn't it be nice to quickly prototype that algorithm and see if it really works for you or not?
Yeah, I was reading attention is all you need for my learning.
Oh, really?
Right? And
the classic paper.
Yeah, the classic paper. Yeah. So the transformer model is really interesting concept. This is the second time I am trying to read it. I've read it before. I didn't understand anything. This is the second time I'm trying to read it, and I'm not understanding as much as I should. And then for the third time, I'm going to just give it to ChatGPT and say, "Please explain this to me like I'm 5." And then, but I just don't want to do that.
Have you tried the study mode there at all? Try the study mode next time when you do that.
What?
ChatGPT has a study mode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when you upload the paper, when you upload the paper, try that, saying that, "Hey, now teach me." Then it will squeeze you time to time, so that to make sure that you learned it.
Oh, I learned it. Okay. Right. I'm definitely going to try the study mode. Definitely going to try it out. All right. So I have my next news is sort of like a business. So it's A16Z. So A16Z plus Mercury, they release AI application spending reports. So this is simply a report that shows how companies are spending
the way
on
you
AI.
say it is A16Z. They're famous venture capitalist here.
It's I think they are. I mean, I see them sponsor. They just give people money from off Twitter. They just do all these things, right? So so they have this list of how people spend. There's this whole article that broke down. I just wanted to show you guys on the screen, especially for those building and for engineers, so you know where big companies are investing their money in and what they're building with in case if you want to steal with them. So a lot of the stuffs here are very, very familiar. I've not seen Fixa AI. I don't think I know about it. I don't know much about Micro One. I don't know much about Lorikeets. But then I think other ones are really familiar. And Cognition is here. These are the guys that built Devin AI in 2023. I mean, it's impressive to see that they make this list and that they are here, right? Also, I'm seeing that OpenAI is number one, Anthropic is number two, Replit is number three. I think we were having a conversation. I don't know if it was you who mentioned that you don't know companies that use Replit or you don't know people that use Replit or something like that. But yeah, they made this list and they're in top three. Then number four is FreePic. FreePic is a website where people just go to download pictures and all those things. Thinking that with ChatGPT and AI generated images, that platforms like FreePic are going to become, backward or maybe down. But then we can still see that they are up here and companies are paying heavily for it. 11 Labs, they've been doing great. They are doing so much very well. I was testing out a voice model the other day that can speak Nigerian pidgin because someone I know was working on a project where they needed to speak Nigerian English because it's different from the normal English that I'm speaking right now. So we call it Nigerian pidgin or the broken English, right? They will say things like how far within the solve, right? So 11 Labs have like a voice model that can actually like speak this language, which is really, really impressive given with the low quality of data that we have available here. And then maybe next week I'll cover that story. Our government actually launched like a model trained on 350,000 tokens. It was launched like last month, anyways. So back to this list, we have Cursor. Cursor is here, number 6. It's I think Cursor is one of the models, one of the AI tools where, I mean, everybody knows because every developer uses Cursor. Most developer uses Cursor nowadays, and so it's also very interesting because
Cursor is very popular among front-end devs, right? I mean, it's I think we seeing sort of and the back-end people more go to Claude code. Well, at least that's how I've been using it. Interesting to see. I mean, lots of these are surprises to me.
Yeah.
I mean, OpenAI, Anthropic is not obviously, but others are like, what? It's interesting to see Midjourney in there. I still don't know
Yeah.
how they monetize their thing. Manus is in 33. Like what?
Yeah.
No,
Wow.
Grammarly is considered an AI company now. I mean, I'm sure every company is an AI now. I heard about Emergence, Read. There are lots of companies here we never even covered or talked about it. But
Yeah.
hey, I mean that means nothing. I mean, we are not we're a very small segment of this, but some of this are a bit surprise for me. Glean, I know they're more enterprise space. Lots of companies use them because they're sort of Google search, but for within your company, sort of the idea.
Wow.
Yeah, some interest surprise. I mean, I feel like in next 6 months, this list will drastically change.
Okay, is it that people are going to pay for less tools or people are going to pay for more tools?
No, I mean we might have a new content and new stuff coming up. Now, what's interesting is so some interesting stuff is that N18 is not here. I don't know what's the name of their company. Are they emergent? I think they are. N18 is a product. We don't know the parent company though. Do you?
I'm trying to Google that quickly.
Yeah. So we could be wrong here. I mean, some of this are like Cognition. You knew they're Devin creator, but we know them as Devin. Gamma is interesting. I might see Gamma going up because they build a really good product. It's for building presentations. Precious, you should use Gamma, by the way.
Oh, seriously? I'll look into
maybe Gamma would be an interesting one for our podcast too. We can feed in our stories and it can create a slide deck for us.
Oh, wow. That would be interesting. I will check it out.
It's an AI for slide decks. Yeah. Maybe you should try this one. Cluely made lots of, we covered lots of about these brands, but it's interesting. I guess that's my only comment on this.
Yeah, so N10 is actually N10, so they are just not here.
Now, today there is this week there is an OpenAI DevDay coming out. There are lots of. I'm gonna have it the next week. We're gonna have lots of interesting story. I've been hearing hype about they're building an agent builder or something, drag and drop.
Yeah. They're trying to compete with anything. I actually have that in my last story for the day, but
Okay, all
then
right.
yeah, since we're
Let's
already
move
talking
it to
about
that. We
yeah,
already have 6 minutes here. Let's go.
yeah. So trying to load this thing. So OpenAI DevDay. I think DevDay is today.
Yeah.
Today is October 6th, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
so
we are
it's
in
today.
East Coast.
Maybe it's going to
They
happen
probably
over
haven't
here.
started yet. They're West Coast, right? So.
Yeah, probably they haven't started. Yeah. So they are going to release a lot of things. Everybody have been talking about Sora, Sora, Sora AI. I think that's for image and video generation. And then I think some invite has been flying around on
Yeah,
Twitter
so we
since
haven't
from
covered about
yesterday.
Sora
A lot
2
of
at
people
all. That's bummer. Sora 2, do you
yeah,
have
we
an invite
haven't.
for that?
I don't. I don't. I was asking someone to send to me, but the person, I don't know why. I need an invite. I would like to play around with it. I mean, we had a competition in the community with VO3. Maybe we should do like a Sora competition also
Mm.
in the community. Yeah, I mean,
But
it's. I mean,
but it's an
everybody is
AI
saying it's
slog though,
cool.
right? I mean, you're gonna spend hours and hours watching AI generated video.
I mean, I'm not in support of that.
Uh,
I
I'm
I
on the
don't
other
think I
hand,
like
I'm gonna
that,
be
but
very honest. On the other hand, I honestly don't care. I don't have an invite. If I get an invite, I'm happy to share with you. But I don't see myself using it
yeah.
yet.
Yeah, I don't think I will. I don't think I
You
will
know
use
how
it.
this is?
I don't think
I
I.
was talking to shout out to Ryan in here. So I had a lunch with him, and this is an interesting discussion. I mean, you know how we talked about last week about, hey, I'm literally worried about quality of internet now because half of the content's going to be AI
Yeah,
generated, AI reading it, AI producing it. All this is going to feel like the slop, right? This quality, I feel like quality is going to drastically go down. Now he
yeah,
got a very interesting insight, and I was talking to him, and I said, "Yeah, that's going to happen, but there are going to be parts of internet which will still feel authentic." So, for an example, LinkedIn.
okay,
Even though LinkedIn get a crap, I think LinkedIn going to be stand out here as a winner of this because LinkedIn is all about personal branding, right? So when we're going to
yeah,
be posting content there, we're going to try hard to differentiate, position ourselves as a thought leader. So even if it's an AI generated, we will try to put our own touch and twist to that to make it feel authentic. So I feel like there and maybe Reddit and some other forums like that where people sort of provide insights or provide leadership and thought leadership. I think those will be the pockets of
yeah.
internet where you find real authentic sort of taste.
I think Twitter is going to win a lot
Twitter
in
could
that
be another
angle,
one too.
right?
Twitter
So
could be another one because,
yeah,
but the problem with
so,
Twitter is the algorithm
so
needs to be better though, because there could be
yeah,
bots
yeah, yeah,
out there doing the same thing for you.
yeah. So because for I know before I make a post on LinkedIn, I have to go to ChatGPT and say, hey, arrange this for me, make it this way, make it this. I want to be sure it's coming out perfect. But on Twitter, I don't care. I type with my typos. I just send it like that. If you go through my timeline, you see a
That's
lot of
true. Twitter would
typos
be,
because I type on the
you're
go.
absolutely right. Twitter would be another probably pocket of internet where if we can
Yeah,
control the bots a little bit, will still be, hey, this is a real human talking about his own original feeling, not summarized version of some thought.
yeah,
Anyway, sorry.
yeah.
I thought
I
that
mean,
was
for
interesting.
me, who is a community
Yeah.
manager, yeah, for me, who is a community manager, I know that forums are going to win at the end of the day. Forums, communities, close community where people are
Yeah.
having like genuine
Yeah.
conversations. People are still, saying things that they think from their
Yeah.
head. Those guys are going to
Yeah.
win. They're going to become the king because, I mean, at some point, data is going to become scarce. Conversation in large number is going to become scarce. People are going to start looking for what platforms, where are people having conversations, and then they go to that place. They may try to buy those.
Mm.
That conversation become like gold. It becomes like crude because that's what's going to power the
Mm.
world at some point. So when people say data is king, I think that's the real data. That's where the real data is
Mm.
coming from,
Mm. Mm.
right? So there are also sectors like in sports. Nobody's in AI in sports, right? Everybody talking about sports. They're talking
Yeah.
about my club
sports
has
will be.
lost 3 games in a row. Why are we
You're right.
losing?
Sports will be that endeavor that watching bunch of robots run is not interesting, right?
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Nobody's
I
ever
mean,
going to do that.
there will be segment of sports where, I mean, I know there are robots boxing match and stuff. Might be interesting, but yeah, Olympics for AI robots playing Olympics. I don't. Is that interesting? No, right? I mean, maybe. So I feel like that
Maybe.
football, soccer. I mean, those things are gonna stay. I think that's a human
Yeah,
experience.
yeah, is an experience. So experiences, community, real life conversations are going to
Yeah.
win on
Yeah.
the long run. Yeah. So, but apart from Sora, OpenAI is still going to launch a lot of stuff. The stuff they wanted to launch, people are predicting, allegedly, they're going to launch today something to compete with anything. I actually saw a video of a guy last night that said, oh, he has access to this thing pre-launch. And I was like, oh, yeah, cool. So it's just same like anything, build agents. So it's sort of, how their GPT store, I don't think GPT store actually
Yeah.
did what it was
Yeah.
supposed to
Yeah.
do. So yeah, they're trying to like build an alternative sort of like a solution to that, so people can. I think the killer, why it's going to be a big deal, especially for companies like anything, is that it's going to with ChatGPT, you can integrate MCPs. You can be able to say, oh, connect to this, connect to that, without doing any massive thing or integrating something new. It's just inside the ChatGPT you are building this thing. So anything is going to they're giving anything a run for their money. I hope they win. I hope they
We are still
succeed.
speculating here, though. We
And
don't know, right? We just gonna be.
yeah, we are still
Uh,
speculating. Yeah, we are still speculating. Yeah. All right.
What
So do you
surprises
have?
me is that is going for, how I'm really this bot building factory model, and we talked about this, right? I mean, that's one of
Yeah.
the fundamental reason I want to stand out. I mean, I was very resistant to build this, even though this is very tempting to build platform like this where people can
Yeah.
drag and drop. The reality is, just because you can create it, I don't see companies doing that. Um, I'm just uncomfortable sharing this a little bit publicly, but I feel like just because you can create something necessary doesn't mean people will create. People will still rely on
Yeah. Yeah.
experts building this for them. Does that make sense? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I built some. I participated in a hackathon
Mm,
last week, and then I built some. It was a lovable hackathon, so I built some tools. They gave me credits. I still have some credits remaining. Over the weekend, I built 3 products, just simple web apps with tools, and I sent to people, right? So, and I sent one of the simplest one I built to someone, and the person was like, "Oh wow, this is cool. How did you do it?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's lovable. It's not even that deep." And the person was like, "No, I can't do this." I'm like,
mm,
"Just type it in. It's simple." But then
mm,
I think the process of building, conceptualizing it, what I missed was that typing it on, writing it out on paper, sketching the diagram, all the processes I did before I went to
mm,
ChatGPT to type it
mm.
in and say, hey, give me a prompt that I can use on Lovable to
Yeah.
build this. And then the whole iteration, testing, I test this feature, it works. I tick it off on my paper. So those parts were the parts where I
Mm,
missed. I thought it was normal, right? But it's not normal because this other person can't really do it. So just like you said, people are still going to rely very much on, on stuffs,
mm,
people who knows how to use this tool,
mm,
or they are going to actually pay attention or maybe learn how to. I won't be surprised if I start seeing someone teaching, learn how to build websites in Lovable,
mm,
put a class and start saying
mm,
$10 per person, you know I would be surprised if I start seeing something like
mm.
that, because some of those
Yeah,
stuff.
that's good. I mean,
So
well,
yeah,
I think we're
yeah.
out
Hi
of time.
Harris.
Out. Oh, what? Oh, okay, Harris says.
Yeah, we're out
Yeah,
of time. Yeah, Harris is in the chat. Hi Harris. Thank you for joining us. All right. So I guess this is where we call it a
yeah.
day.
We had a bunch
Thank
of
you
other
very much for
stories
joining
too,
us.
right? But we kind of covered it today. So
Uh, can cover everything. Yeah. So thank you everyone for joining us. Yeah. If you're watching the replay,